Hello, this is now.May Forrest, and today, as you can see, I did my hair. It's not as puffy as I wanted it to. Somebody on YouTube suggested I use this hairspray. I also use mousse in it, kind of like a volume mousse from Garnier, along with a hairspray. Well, I hairsprayed it first. It's got to be glued hairspray. That costs like roughly almost $6. It's relatively cheap. I was actually quite fond with it. So I just decided to give you a nice look here, Decided to do something new with my appearance, I suppose. And that mainly being my hair in general. I hope you like it. See, I don't usually use hair products that much, so this is something new for me. I decided, hey, I'm not feeling good, so I might as well do something with my appearance and just make myself happier, as you can tell. Because sometimes when you're not feeling happy, you feel there's some things you need to change. Yeah, if I lost a little bit of weight, I would feel a lot happier. Which I'm planning on getting on 2 new diet pills. Basically, that my mom gave me this piece of paper from a magazine that talks about 2 diet pills that she wants me to try. Basically, so I'm going to be trying to get on those two pills, diet pills. Hopefully I'll lose some substantial amount of weight. I don't plan on fitting in a size 0, so I want to be healthy. I just want to get down to my goal of 130 pounds, because I am 240 pounds, and it's not healthy considering diabetes runs in my family. I think type 2 diabetes, because it's not type 1. Type 1 is supposed to be where you get it as a child. People in my family get diabetes from being overweight. Also, high blood pressure runs in my family, and I've had an aunt who died from cancer, so she had breast cancer twice. So, but like I said, I don't want to become diabetic. I've been tested for diabetes twice, so hopefully I never have to worry about becoming diabetic, but it's just best that I lose the weight. And I'm not going to do it just so people will be nicer to me, because people like to be rude to you when you're heavy set. And, it was very disrespectful for someone to make fun of me of having a double chin. I can control that. I have a thyroid problem, okay? So if my neck is the way it is, it's because of the thyroid. Didn't develop until I became an adult. I really don't think I had that as a teenager. Then eventually I got to a point where I enveloped it, just not right away. The whole thyroid problem. Yeah, I am overweight too, and I have really bad stretch marks, but a lot of that could be because I don't exercise enough or diet enough. But still, it's just very disrespectful to make fun of somebody because they were overweight. How would you like it to be overweight and have somebody bash you and make you feel like crap because you're overweight? Try being more respectful to other people. Yeah, so what if they're not the most attractive and they live up to society's standards of how they should look? But you shouldn't be rude and disrespectful to people. People have feelings, Basically. But a lot of people could have taken it a lot worse than me, with the whole someone bashing me for not only being overweight and ugly, but having a double chin. Yeah, I had that said to me on YouTube, so, which was very disrespectful and rude. I was just I was just on there, typing out my opinion about how I feel about life and stuff, and I don't know, people just have to be rude. Oh, I like it how somebody calls you a drama whore, when in fact they're being a drama whore. Honestly, even more of a drama whore. I notice how that happens so often. That people call you a drama whore, but they act even worse. So they're like total hypocrites. But, people that do that are just, unhappy with their life. I may not be happy with my life, but at least I don't go around bashing people I don't know, or people that look prettier than me, or are actually attractive and successful. Yeah, just because I envy other people and want to be like them doesn't mean that I'm going to be rude and disrespectful to them. Unless someone's disrespectful to me, then I'll be spiteful back. But really, it doesn't make much difference because they're just going to continue down that path anyways. And some people will always be rude and disrespectful like that, especially if they're mean-spirited like that, or they're just plain unhappy. Which I figure if you're unhappy, the best decision to make with your life is not to sit there and bring other people down and bash them because they're different, or because you don't agree with them, or just because you're unhappy. Best thing you could do to make yourself happy is by helping other people. It'll make you feel a lot happier about yourself. Especially if you have a really hard time helping yourself. You find that if you don't have much of a sense of purpose in this world and you help other people, it gives you a sense of purpose. Well, some people just feel like nothing they can do ever seems to turn out right, and like the odds are always against them. And I've often felt that way too, because I'm not born a winner, okay? I've always wanted to be a winner. I always wanted something I could be really good at. I have dreams like anybody else. I'm a person, basically. But see, some people are just so naturally attuned to all of that good positivity, and they have everything they could ever ask for, but life isn't always fair. You don't always get what you want. I mean, you can try and try, but sometimes it seems like the odds are against you, basically. Like I said, I mean, there's people in this world I'd rather be like rather than be myself at this moment. But you can't really control who you are. I mean, you could do the best you can make yourself happy, yes, and that said, sometimes there will always be obstacles in this world. And if you suffer from a low self-esteem, I understand. I have a low self-esteem. I don't think you understand why. I'll tell you why. It's not because I'm overweight. It's not because I'm not the most attractive. It's because I've had people bully me as a kid who were very, very hurtful to me. I was in special ed, so really, it makes me feel really, really bad thinking about it. But other kids would pick on me and refer to me as retarded, and it just seems like it never stopped as a kid, basically, and as a teenager. So I was embarrassed to be in special ed. It's not that I had a problem with the kids in special ed. I just had a problem with other people pushing me around, treating me like crap, and not respecting me as a person. And I'm sure you feel the same way too, and I'm sure you've been bullied too. I mean, there's a lot of people that are bullied, basically. And then that said, I wasn't perfect either, because I kind of went through a phase where I lashed out as a kid too. Because when I was 6 years old, I was molested, and I'm going to say it to raise some awareness for other people who have been through what I've been through, because there's people that have been through much worse, So, really, when you think about it, there's a lot of people who've been sexually abused as kids. And, it wasn't an adult that did it to me. It was a neighbor boy who was molested, so he took it out on me. So, but when I think about it, there are some people who go through much worse. And when I think about it, some people don't even know love, they don't even know friendship, and they don't even know happiness. So I'm grateful that at least people care about me. Because really, the people that don't care about me, why should I give a fuck what they think? Honestly, if they just are determined to make you unhappy and push you around, treat you like crap, they're just not worth being a part of your life. They're not worth acknowledging, basically. Because all they are is a waste of effort. That's what they are. See, the people that care about you are the people that should matter the most. And there will come times in your life that you will find people that you get along with really well, who are really good friends, and they will feel more like family to you. And then sadly, in some cases, there are some friends that are more like family to some people than their actual family is to them. But friends are a blessing. You should never take for granted that you have a friend. Never. Well, anything too positive, you never should take it for granted. There's a lot of people that have everything handed to them, and they take it for granted, and they just want everything. And they complain if things don't go their way. But there are some people that don't have things handed to them that would be grateful to be like them, to be rich and have everything handed to you, to have the odds in your favor, to be a winner. And everyone wants to be happy, okay? But some people really don't know much of happiness. Some people are not used to having nice things. No matter how kind, how compassionate they are towards other people, it just seems like the world can be a very sad, depressive, unfair world that we live in. Because sometimes the worst things happen to the best people. It's a proven fact. I see it every day. I meet really good people that have had a lot of crap happen to them, and it just really makes me feel hurt, emotionally speaking. But I can imagine what they've been through hurts even more. So, my advice is to you, that next time you see somebody who acts a certain way and you may not like it, think about, okay, what happened to them in their life that makes them behave the way they do? Or next time you judge somebody who's in a foster home or in an orphanage or someone who's been adopted, think about what could have happened to them. Think about them as a person and try to step in their shoes. Or even your neighbors, if you don't understand them, try to step in their shoes. Or someone who you consider lives on the wrong side of the tracks is still a person too. That is very much a fact. Basically, consider that every human being in this world, that you should learn to appreciate humanity. Learn to appreciate that we are all people, no matter how messed up we can be at times. No matter what problems we have, we're all human beings. Nobody is perfect. Even the ones who are winners, that have everything handed to them, they're not perfect. Basically. If they were truly perfect, then they would be grateful for the fact that they're winners and have everything handed to them. But generally, they take it for granted. They don't realize what it's like to have nothing. They don't realize what it's like to not have a family, or friends, or love, or friendship. They have it all, but yet they take it so for granted. Basically. But what I learned is that there are people in this world that very much need a friend, who very much need a voice, need somebody to talk to them and understand them. Instead of judge them, instead of thinking that, oh my gosh, they're making up things. See, if someone comes to you and they talk about their past and they're comfortable enough to talk to you, don't push them away, don't ignore them, and do not mistaking them for a liar. They could very much be victims. They could have seriously had some really messed up crap happen to them in their past. And they could very much be telling the truth. And they could be reaching out for your support and your help, and especially you are a good friend to them. Just by being there and talking to a person makes a lot of difference. There'll be times where some people are suicidal and you have to be there to talk them out of it. But every minute that you make someone happy makes quite a difference in this world. It's not wrong to help someone and make them stronger. It's not. What I mean by stronger is that you inspire them, you empower them, you give them a reason to live, you give them a reason to love, and you teach them to stand up for themselves. That's what I mean by stronger. Because some people don't know how to stand up for themselves. They let other people walk all over them. They never fight back. Not even once. Not even with logic. They just let people hurt them. So, basically, some people have a lot of fear in their hearts and don't know how to handle fear. Even those who seem fearless, when you really don't suspect it, they do have fear too. The bravest of people have fear in their hearts, or have phobias, just like you and anybody else. They're just better at hiding it. There's times where my friend would never see the fear in me. I would not show it very much. So I'm more afraid of things than she realizes. However, the horror movie thing, I don't get scared like she does with horror movies. But when it all comes down to that, I feel sometimes I must be strong so she can be strong. It helps every minute, every difference, because if you are strong for the ones you care about, the stronger they will become, the more motivated they'll become. And that helps to inspire other people to be strong for the sake of living their life and being happy, basically. But it really helps if you're supportive of your friends and if you got their back, basically. And if you don't push them away and you actually take what they say to you seriously enough, then it makes a lot of difference in that person's life. So there's some people that don't understand that, hey, crappy, messed up shit happens, okay? So there are going to be some people that have been abused, neglected, and what have you. No matter how obscene it sounds to you, it's very likely it's true. Like, let's say, if someone has been sexually abused, and they tell you that they have been abused, next time don't judge them. Next time don't think they're making it up. Because a lot of people who have been through that rarely ever make it up. Rarely. So, basically, it helps being empathic. Not just on the emotional level, but if you're like me, and you can feel the pain and suffering of other people you're around, and you can just tell if someone's been through a lot of crap, that helps. Because I've been like that, where people can just come to me and talk to me about what's going on, and I won't judge them. I won't tell them they're making it up, because that's just fucked up. You know? You're there for a person, it makes a lot of difference. If you care about them, it makes a lot of difference. If you're compassionate towards them, it makes a lot of difference. Friendship to a person makes a lot of difference. You'd be surprised. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of problems, some people that don't even know what friendship is. And if you open your life up to this person, you could be surprised how much difference you can make on that person's life just by being a friend, a true friend. It doesn't just simply mean you have to be a friend, but when you are a supportive friend and you care about that person, you're willing to listen to them, and you're willing to give them support when they need it, that makes a lot of difference. So my advice is to you is learn to be empathic, learn to embrace other people, and learn to appreciate them, because it makes a lot of difference to appreciate others, especially if they don't know what it's like to be appreciated by someone. It's very much true. And if you do that, like I said, you can make loads of difference in a person's life. But you see, the reason I like helping people is because I feel it's hard to help myself. And when I help other people, I don't feel worthless. I feel like a person. And with my low self-esteem, it makes me feel like I have to do something and help other people so that I don't feel so crappy about myself. And that, in the end of the day, that I know that I have a sense of purpose. I'd rather help other people than put other people down, because that just isn't right when you put other people down, no matter how unhappy you are with life. When you put somebody down, that doesn't make any difference to make yourself happier. It doesn't. I find you'll find more happiness when you help somebody and don't expect anything in return. Nothing. If people learned that more often and didn't expect anything in return from a person, this world would be a better place. A much better place. If greed didn't revolve around everything. If people were less narcissistic. If people were more empathic. And if people believed in humanity. What is humanity? Humanity is when you open your life up to somebody and help them. Even if you're not close to that person, just donate money to somebody who, let's say, is an unfortunate individual. It doesn't have to be another person in another country. It could be someone in your own country. Because it helps to help out your own country too, you know. But, because like I said, there's a lot of people who go through a lot of crap, just by reaching out to them and helping them. That makes a load of difference. So, next time you see somebody who has a sad face, who just looks like they're really just in an unhappy mood, just go up to them and say, hey, I really like your hair, or hey, I really like your outfit, or you seem like a really nice person, I want to talk to you. You know, just pay attention to them. You know, compliment them. Or even ask them, why are you sad? Is there some way I can talk to you? That would make a load of difference in a person's life. However, some people will be the sort of individuals that might push you away. And that's okay, because, you know, they don't know how to be helped. If they're not willing to accept your help, then maybe you should take it slow with approaching that person. But there are some people that if you pay attention to them, then they just feel completely ignored. Like, if they have experienced that way too often. You know, it just really helps if you acknowledge a person who's, you know, not acknowledged. Someone who's ignored, basically. Even if that person feels like a total opposite of you, basically. Like, say, if you are used to being a normal individual and for whatever reason you see somebody who is just like, you know, me, who's different, don't judge them for being different. Because Even if you judge somebody, you'll never get to truly know what they're like, what their heart is like, or what their life has been like. So it really helps if you get to know a person, because you can find there's a lot of good in people, and appearance really doesn't matter, basically. It's what a person does that matters. If they are a good person, it's their actions that make them who they are. It's not what they wear, it's not their gender, it's not their race. Only their actions is what matters. If they're generally a good person, or they're just simply misunderstood, there's still, there's still some good in them. So, you just judge them and mistaken them for somebody who's a certain way, or someone who's bad, someone who's negative or troubled, you'll never get to truly understand the good within a person. Basically. There's a lot of good in this world, believe it or not. Yes, there may be a lot of negativity, but you gotta see the good in this world too, even in those that you wouldn't suspect good would be a part of. Yes, it may sound naive, but like I said, there are some good in this world. There are good people out there, even in the most unlikely places. There is good. And you can find them. And those people are sometimes, like I said, some of the best people in this world are the most troubled, or the most bothered with life. They don't have much of anything. They're not very happy with their lives. They're often very different from you and me. Or, I should say they're just not, generally, considerably what you would consider normal. Even though I think normal is a delusion. I think normal is a made-up word. I think normal is made to brainwash us all so that we, as people, cannot embrace ourselves completely, and that we have to be like everybody else, and that's boring. You know what I'm saying? And normal is just, the whole word normal just causes a lot of stigma. Like, if somebody is not considerably lives up to that term, normal, somebody doesn't live up to society's standards, then they get mistreated, and it's just wrong that they get mistreated for being a unique individual, basically. So, next time you see somebody who's different, please don't judge them. Please don't bash them. Because I've seen a lot of intolerance and hatred out of people, and it just makes this world a horrible place to live in. I don't really know the name of this girl. Actually, I know the name, but I'm not going to say it. But somebody's friend, right, would get these hate letters from people in her college. And, I don't want to say her name, personally, but she would get these letters, and these girls would tell her that she's an ugly cow and that she should kill herself. And that's just, I don't care if you think someone's ugly. I really don't care. It's not right. What right do you have to tell somebody to go kill themselves? That is disrespectful and uncalled for. If that person did kill herself, then I hope you feel guilt from that. And I hope you don't sleep at night if that person killed themselves over a hateful letter like that. You should feel guilty if you cause a person to commit suicide. You should feel guilty for it. Because that person has feelings. You should acknowledge their feelings, not try to put them down because you don't agree with them, or just because you don't think they should look a certain way, or because they're different. What right do you have to judge a person? None. None whatsoever. That just makes you an even worse person than the person you're judging. Basically. It just makes you an ignorant individual who's hateful. And really, in all reality, I refuse to be ignorant like that, and intolerant and hateful. I refuse to. Because out of ignorance and out of hatred, what do we accomplish? Destruction. It doesn't make the world a good place to live in. It just makes the world a horrible, ugly place to live in. And it doesn't make you a beautiful person if you're hateful and intolerant and ignorant. If you learn love and you learn to accept other people for being different, and if you learn to be compassionate towards life and learn humanity, then that's a lot better than being a hateful individual who's narcissistic, who's snobby, who just really wants to make a person's life a living hell. Personally. To me, I think that's an ugly person. It doesn't matter what they look on the outside. If they're totally vile and like that, then they're hideous in the inside. But if somebody is a really good person, it doesn't matter what they look like on the outside, no matter what. You know, what should it really matter what a person looks like? You know, it's just really messed up that people have to be, you know, like, well, you don't look like what society says you should look like. Then we should treat you like crap and not pay attention to and not acknowledge you. It's like some people will know what it's like to be fat and go through years and years of being fat. Once they lose weight, then people want to pay attention to them. If I'm going to lose weight, it's going to be for myself, not others. It's going to be for the sake of not becoming diabetic. It's for the sake of becoming healthier, because I need to be healthier. I don't want diabetes. Diabetes is not a pleasant thing. It's not a happy thing. And those who have diabetes know what it does and how it can really damage a person's body. If you know someone diabetic, then you know a little bit enough about it to know that diabetes can make a person's body very, very, very unhealthy. Not to mention, your eyesight goes when you have diabetes, your kidney fails. My mom had to have her gallbladder moved because it failed, because it was going bad, basically. And you have problems with your feet when you're diabetic. All kinds of things go wrong with you when you're diabetic. You don't produce enough glucose, basically, but there's like different forms of diabetes. So it is that I've heard of. But the diabetes I'm familiar with is diabetes type 2. Because I think that's exactly what my mother has, because that's the type of diabetes you get when you gain enough weight. You see, my mom had surgery. She thought that, oh, if I get to a certain amount of weight loss, then the diabetes will go away. That's a myth. If you get overweight and you gain diabetes, it's hard to get rid of diabetes, even if you lose a lot of weight. That's why it's best for me to lose the weight, because I don't want to wind up like my mom and have to take insulin shots or take certain medications and have all kinds of problems wrong with me. You know? I mean, her medication keeps the diabetes under control, but she hasn't been able to get rid of it just because of the surgery she had that caused her to lose a lot of weight. And she's like, no, down to a size 6, basically. So yeah, I'm just grateful that I'm not yet diabetic. I've been tested for it twice, and I don't have diabetes, which is a good thing, and I'm grateful for that fact. But like I said, I realized that I have to do what's healthy for my body, so that way I can not have that problem. So, yeah. So if I were, let's just say, to go down the road I'm going with just, gaining weight and gaining weight, then I could be at risk of becoming diabetic. Even though my hopes are that I would just be lucky and that it would skip me, but I would never know. Even though like I said, I've been tested twice. But I'm going to make an effort in losing the weight so that I don't have that problem. I know I should exercise more often. I really have that habit of not motivating myself to exercise. Seems like since I became an adult, I don't feel really all that motivated to do much. I guess part of it's kind of the boredom. And I realize on top of it, the reason I also overweight because I'm a definite stress eater. I eat more than I really should. I used to be really bad at it. Not as bad. I'm kind of getting in the habit of not eating as much, but every now and then I will have moments where if I'm craving something, I don't care. I'm going to eat it. Basically. And I should start caring because of my health. And like I said, because I don't want to risk getting diabetes because it's not right for the body, and I don't want to fall apart. I don't want to have serious problems with my body. So I'm just lucky that all I have wrong with me is just the fact that I'm overweight and I have thyroid and of course have stretch marks. So yeah. Oh, and of course I'm bipolar and I have ADD disorder. If you're familiar with ADD disorder, it doesn't always make you a retard. I don't even like that word. That's a disrespectful word. And I don't like that word because of the way people have treated me. Unless you know what it's like having ADD disorder, unless you seriously know what it's like, then you really don't understand how hurtful it could be when someone bashes you constantly for having it, or for being in social ed, or when someone bullies you, picks on you. It's not a pleasant feeling, okay? It makes you feel really crappy. And it just makes your self-esteem crappy, basically. And I know what it's like being different, not just the ADD disorder. I was a weird kid. So I didn't have very many friends because of being strange and weird. So I was grateful that I had a good friend who was a neighbor at the time. And we're still friends to this day, so. But like I said, had she not been my friend, I would have been very lonely and had no social life. So I'm grateful that I can at least have a friend that can get me out of the house so I can do things. Because, like I said, I would have been cooped up most of the time. I was a sheltered kid. So I'm very grateful to have friends in general. I'm thinking about trying to have more of a social life at this moment because I've been kind of like a bipolar wreck, maybe more than kind of. Just with, I don't know, just flipping out lately and just not feeling very secure. See, the thing about being bipolar is one minute you can be happy, next minute you can be real sad, next minute you can be really pissed off, or in some cases pissy, or just have like a meltdown. I did a couple days ago. I had a meltdown with my friend. It didn't help much, so she was getting on my ass about being overweight and how I should lose weight. Well, and emotionally it doesn't help much that she does that too, because she is skinny. I mean, she'll never know what it's like to be overweight. She'll never be in the risk of having diabetes. Never. And she'll never become diabetic. So I don't feel like she truly understands what it's like to be me. And in that sort of situation, because she's not fat like me. As she gains weight, she complains about it. For once, I wish she would understand what it's like to be as fat as me. Or fatter. But quite personally. When someone doesn't understand that, they're more likely to go on your ass about it. And it doesn't help to motivate me, okay? It really doesn't. When she pushes me to do it when I'm not really that motivated to begin with. It's just going to not set me in the mood to want to exercise. You know, if I want to exercise, I'll do it myself, okay? And I really didn't want to, and I felt like she was, like, forcing me to go walk. And I just wasn't in the mood, and I felt sluggish, okay? So it just set me off in a really bad mood, not to mention that her dog was in a really hyper mood that day, and she wanted me to walk her for starters, and I just felt real grumpy to begin with. And she gets mad at me because I don't ever want to do anything anymore that she wants to do. Well, it feels that way with me towards her too in some ways, because I really don't have anything that interesting to do, and all we do is sitting around most of the time. So, and I just get bored with the whole situation. Not always. Sometimes we have a conversation and we do some fun things, but it just seems like there's hardly much to talk about. So just get all stir crazy. I don't like sitting still for 1 second. Unless I'm feeling really sluggish. From time to time I do feel sluggish. And don't feel very motivated to do anything. Sometimes it takes a lot to motivate a person. But basically getting on their case about it just isn't going to help them. Like if someone's overweight and you get on their case about them losing weight, that's not going to help motivate a person. Especially when you're, like, really skinny and you harp on somebody for, like, them being overweight. I understand she cares. I understand she wants to help me lose weight. But emotionally, it's just not working. So, I just need to be able to find my own motivation. But she just doesn't help me with the motivation on that part. There's a lot of things that are just not motivating me. I don't know. Lately, I just don't feel the luster that I used to feel when I was younger, so, yeah. So, because when you're a child, everything's exciting, even in the small things. I don't think children realize how easy they got it. When you become an adult, everything starts sucking. Horribly. It's like that South Park episode where Stan becomes 10 years old and he starts to see everything turn to shit. That's how it feels being an adult. Personally, you don't feel like you used to when you were young and vibrant. And it's nice to be able to feel vibrant. When you start feeling like crap and you don't feel like doing much, it sucks. Personally. And you get tired of doing the same old every day. And I guess that's a lot of what my problem is. I don't get out very often because I, for one, don't have a car. I live in Fremont. There's not much to do. As you know, it's like one of those small towns where you don't get very much activity going on. And, you know, you get so used to doing something that you get bored with it. Way too quick. Way too fast. Basically. So, yeah. I'm going to cut this video short because I'm getting hungry, you know. Quite personally, I feel like I need to eat something. So, I'll talk to you later in one of my videos. When I make another video, I'll make another video for you, update videos, and let you know how I'm doing. I just felt like I had to have a serious conversation for today with you. Not my usual hyperness, where I'm just totally bonkers and insane. So, goodbye.